All right, there we go. So
I'm
now,
not even seeing
now
what
we're
the topics
live.
are tonight. Not even looked.
What's that?
I've not even looked what the topics are.
There's not a whole lot that's going on right now.
Yeah. LG V60.
I mean, I do have a good reason for talking about that.
Screw you.
Oh, goodness. We'll give it a second. Wait for some people to show up. It says we're live. All right, so there we go. Maybe somebody will come. I don't know.
We have if we will start advertising it on the business page, because we get like 4,000 followers on there. So
that's a lot. Hey, we have a viewer. Welcome, viewer.
Oh no, who is it though?
It's probably David.
Yeah, Grant.
David likes to come hang out with us. So
you're David. Yes.
Yeah. My David, not Dave West. I mean, Dave likes
that scrotum, David.
Both Daves like to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness gracious, man! It has been a week. I don't know why last night, and just my biological clock in my brain thought that it should be Friday night, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's freaking Tuesday.
I'm totally out of it right now. It's like I do not know what days are what.
I mean, this whole work from home thing. I mean, it has its pros. I mean, I like being at home with my family, which is nice, but yeah, it just completely throws off your work rhythm. It throws off your workflow. Like I really much prefer to be at my office, in my work chair, at my work computer, doing my stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
not really had to do anything, so
I don't like getting up in the morning and then it's like, let me grab my coffee and sit in my desk, with my gaming chair at my normal desk where I'm normally either editing video or playing video games. Like, let me talk to the IRS today.
I think nowadays, now I'm a bit older and the health isn't as good, I could work from home all the time.
I'm getting to a point where I do enjoy it, and if it were different work, or if I work for myself like part-time. So I've entertained the idea. Like right now, I work for a nonprofit organization doing my low-income taxpayer representation. But I've been learning stuff and picking up skills. So ideally, one day I can start my own firm and I can just do tax representation and just charge people for it, but have like much better hours. So like basically, like Monday, Wednesday,
what you
Friday.
Want to do?
I don't want to do it 5 days a week, but 3 days a week, give me more time to make my videos and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, well, you're what? You're 44 now?
44 in August.
So. Yeah, I mean, I'm 36, so I still got a lot. I got a little bit more hair, but this is 36, and this is 40 right here.
That's 40. That's right. Absolutely.
I would like to get to a position where I work at home one day, but
as soon as I hit 40, let me tell you, a whole new meaning of feeling old happens. I don't know whether it's psychological or what, but as soon as that comes, it's like, damn.
Well, I got 6 kids, and when I hit 40, it's gonna be a rough wall.
Horrific for you. Horrific.
Wall hard.
Horrific.
I'm gonna go on a big vacation like a week. I'll go on a vacation like 2 weeks before I turn 40. So I've still got the energy, because once I turn 40,
you're done.
Tell my wife, you better start pushing me in a wheelchair to go to McDonald's.
Done. That's it.
So not a whole lot, I guess, in the tech world this week. I know we're talking about April 15th. They're talking about having a tentative announcement for the iPhone 9 or whatever they're going to call it.
Oh, really? They're doing that again? They're going to try and step all over OnePlus?
Well, what's funny to me, I think they originally planned on the iPhone 9 coming out a little bit earlier, and then because of all the stuff, they had to push it back. And then with tax day, it's interesting to me that tax day, April 15th is tax day. I mean, you don't release a phone on tax day, but they went ahead and the IRS pushed it back to the 15th of July. So now that April 15th is free and clear, I guess they figured, hey, that's a good day.
Well, it's also, isn't that the day stimulus checks are meant to start dropping?
So, stimulus checks are coming. It's like, I'm surprised all the retailers are not making those memes like that guy, like, brace yourself, winter is coming.
The old
Brace yourself, stimulus checks are coming. There'll be like a mass hiring, so for 1 week, everybody can go fill the stores to sell all these things, and then
I'm sure that's why OnePlus did it, because I was dead nuts that they would not release anything in April.
Well, they got to, because if they released it in like May or June, that money's going to be gone.
Well, it is now, yeah, it is.
I mean, there are a lot of people that legitimately need the stimulus money from the government to make sure they pay their bills. But I know there are some people that are probably still okay and are gonna be like, "Oh, hey, thanks,
I'm getting paid," and
yeah. So I mean, and I think that I don't think that's a bad thing, though. I think that's part of the design behind it, because not only is it
to stir the economy, get you out there and spend.
It's a financial security blanket to help some people, and it's also reinvesting it back in the country, into the economy. So I think that, OnePlus, they were planning on releasing in May. Last time we looked, they were like the second week of May.
Usually in May, yeah.
So they accelerated theirs, and iPhone, I guess, went ahead and did the same thing. So I think we're going to have both of them come out probably within the same week.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is crazy, because you see how bad Samsung did. I mean, their phones are dropping they're going down the tank bad.
It's under $1,000 right now for a Ultra on Swapper. Best Buy yesterday, I could go and buy yesterday an S20 Plus open box in any color I wanted for $700.
Yeah, and we talked about that last week. Yeah, last week. Oh, Leanne gave us some hearts. There we go.
Isn't that nice? What a lovely lady.
So we talked about that last week. Whenever we were talking about how you could walk into Best Buy and you could pick up these used S20 model phones, whether it was the S20, the Plus, or the Ultra. Not only are they not selling, but when they do sell, so many people are taking them back.
Yep.
And that's a really bad sign. And that was, I'll go and talk about BlackBerry right now, because that was a big problem with the last couple of their phones that were on carrier shelves, like the ones like the Key One and some of the BlackBerry 10 devices. They were having more of them end up getting taken back. Like, the sell-through was okay to the carriers, but then the carriers were ending up sending everything back because people were bringing them back to the store, which is even worse than had they not sold in the first place. And I think the same thing's happening with the Galaxy. So I really think that there was some strategic planning. And of course, there's strategic planning. They want to maximize the amount of money that they're going to make on these things. Obviously, they know it's going to take a hit. OnePlus is going to take a bigger hit than Apple. Apple's going to sell regardless. OnePlus sells within a window. The OnePlus comes out. Usually, it comes out at a time where it's not an iPhone or a Samsung release, so they kind of stand apart on their own. Unlike Google, because they're stupid and they can't figure out how to establish their own release cycle.
Absolutely.
But OnePlus is good. You can always count. Samsung is going to come out February, March. LG is going to come out around March, April. OnePlus is going to come out in May. And then you're going to be good till about August, September timeframe. And then you're going to worry about the Note coming out and the iPhone coming out. And then 2 weeks after the iPhone comes out, when people are still trying to buy the suckers because they can't get them because, one, they didn't pre-order it, and two, Apple never has enough initial stock. They're all like, yeah, I guess we'll buy a Pixel. I'm going to return the Pixel 5 days later and get an iPhone. So
OnePlus have put themselves in a really good position right now as well. I mean, everyone's going to buy an iPhone regardless, but all the people that bought a Samsung device and they've sent them back, them guys are still going to be itching for a new phone. And if I've got a feeling the OnePlus 7 Pro this year might be $900, but it's that much cheaper than the Ultra still. So I think they've got a good chance, because they're also going on all four main carriers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T. They're all going to get
they're swinging for the fence.
Yeah, they could really pick up from where Samsung dropped the ball this year, because they've not had good press, really, Samsung. Obviously, with a lot of people.
No, not at all.
Them, so.
Well, not only they're not getting good press, but people are complaining that it's gimmicky and it's not worth it. And here's an argument. There's two arguments when it comes to talking about phones. It's either not worth it because they charge you too much, or what's the other one? Yeah,
there is, David.
Yeah, there's either not enough or except there's no more Sprint. Welcome aboard, David. Yeah, so people complain that, like with OnePlus, they say, "Oh well, yeah, it's not very expensive, but it's not really a flagship." You know, people were saying that the OnePlus 7 Pro and the 7T were not flagship phones
because they weren't IP rated and they didn't have wireless charging.
So,
Shut up. I mean, really?
Yeah, like these lower price ones, people are like, "Oh, it's not really a flagship. It's not really. It's not enough." Like,
so
okay,
every iPhone up to the iPhone 7 wasn't a flagship neither. Then,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, people have to find something to justify their opinion. Yeah, you can't just look at it objectively. And there were people that were saying that the LG V60 was a mid tier phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how are you calling this a mid tier phone? Hey Gary, welcome aboard. So you're telling me it's got the latest flagship processor, running the latest OS. It's got a great camera system, 5,000 milliamp battery, a gigantic screen, even 2 screens that go along with it. And just because it doesn't do Quad HD Plus, you're going to call it a mid-ranger. But the S20 Ultra, you can only use the 120 hertz display in 1080p. So, okay, whatever. Hey Grant, welcome aboard.
What's up, Grant?
People have their own narratives. I mean, and one, there's the media narrative, and then 2, there's like the reviewer narrative, and then 3, there's the fanboy narrative. The Samsung nice, the iPhone, whatever they call them. They call them iPhone sheep.
Yeah, the sheep, the knights, and then whatever else is left over.
What does OnePlus have? The pawn?
They're just fanboys, are they? I don't know. Yeah. Well, no. I tell you what, they're toxic as well.
The OnePlus didgeridoos.
But at least they keep themselves in their own little space. They don't spread. That's the thing about them.
OnePlus fans they're pretty good. I don't ever really run into one. People that, hey, spectacular.
Hello.
So spectacular. So you get people that love OnePlus, and they're like, they're like the people that go out there and they don't care. Like, you could go out there in an orange and a pink T-shirt.
Yeah, you haven't met a fanboy yet. Then you go onto the OnePlus forums and say something slightly negative about a OnePlus phone. It's like if the Samsung Knight mated with the sheep, and then 20 years later this thing was born and it's fully formed. Oh my God, they are horrendous.
I don't go into the community forums. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to talk to my wife and kids half the time. I'm not going to the community forums on OnePlus. But you go in there. I don't know. Most people that I've met that push OnePlus, they're just happy. They're content. They're like, man, look what I got for $500. Why are you paying $1,100? Look what I got for $600. Like, nobody's ever upset about a OnePlus phone because they're substantially cheaper than the expensive ones, and they bring so much to the table. And I've had
this year the OnePlus 8 and 8 Pro are going to look like such good value thanks to Samsung and their $1,400 nonsense. It's no way it can not look like a good value proposition, especially when it's going to have wireless charging, IP rate. It's going to have everything in it. So,
Samsung looks like a colossal fool right now. Like they look like that guy who went up to the plate. He's like, "Look, I'm going to drive this ball 400 yards," and it just woofs and falls over and throws his back out. That was the Ultra, and I have the Ultra, and I don't want to come off in a position where I sound like I don't like it because I absolutely love the phone. It's just not worth the $1,400. Now, my main criticism is the camera. The focus is just the adjustable focus is just terrible. But other than that, I love everything else about the phone other than the price tag.
I'll be one of them guys, and I'll just say it right now that the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra is crap. Okay, it's crap. You're paying $1,400 for a camera that doesn't work. You get the same 120 hertz screen on the smaller S20 model. So what's so good about it? The camera's probably better on the smaller S20 model.
Priced.
But it's not even a good phone.
The phone's good. It's just the camera. I mean, and
the phone's good, but when you can get a Galaxy S20 Plus for $400 or $500 cheaper,
definitely, experience. Nobody, if you're on the fence, I mean, if you don't absolutely have to have the ability to look at what kind of shoes your neighbor's wearing when they're at the park down the street, there's no reason to buy it whatsoever. I mean, other than being somebody who loves electronics. I mean,
and the thing is, if you do want to look at your neighbor's shoes down the street, it's going to be a blurry mess and look like a Christmas ham instead of a pair of shoes. It's just, it doesn't do anything. Work.
I took some cool pictures with them. It's a novelty. Is really all it is. It's a novelty. I don't. Other than I'm hoping that they can fix it, but really, I think that it's a hardware issue. I don't think it's a software issue.
It is, and this is what I was saying. It's the focal range of that main sensor. It's so small that the focus that it's in and out all the time, and that's why it's forever hunting.
Well,
it's got a very slim line that you can be in, and that is it.
But the thing is, when it does hit, it's crystal clear. It's just a matter of you have to learn to manipulate it, and there's it should.
It's not a point and shoot camera.
No,
and that's what it needs to be. It's never going to beat an iPhone. It's never going to beat a Pixel. And I dare say it won't even beat the Note when it comes to the camera because they are point and shoot.
And the one thing that I love about it is the ability to use the Pro Video mode. And now they're giving it to everybody else. So I'm like, they took away the one reason.
Go and buy a Note 10. You want a big device.
128 gigabytes of storage is under garbage. I really didn't want to talk about this 20 tonight, but either way, so
I can't help it. It's so disappointing, though.
It is.
It really is a big letdown. I'm afraid to say. And you've got these people who telling me you're wrong. You just don't know how to use a phone, dude. I'm 44 and I've been using phones. I've just sold my 175th device on Swapper. I know how to use phones. Don't tell me I don't know how to use them.
All right, so real talk right now. I don't know if Leanne's still. How many phones did you have to sell to buy her wedding ring?
I didn't actually. I surprised her with a wedding ring. She thought she was going to get this little cheap $50 thing, and she had.
You got her an expensive $150.
No, I didn't get a 1,500 ring.
Did you give it? Did you put the ring box inside of a bag of Kroger's chicken?
I should have done. She doesn't like Kroger. She's on the fence. She's with you there. Sat there, Kroger. I had KFC strips today. They have not got anything on Kroger. Oh my God, they are disgusting.
Gross, man.
Look at Joe Hussey.
Hey,
you know what, Joe Hussey? You suck at making YouTube content. All right.
You know what? If you weren't here watching our video, you could be making your own videos.
That's right. I mean, you've got no time.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, everybody. If you don't know, Joe's got a YouTube channel and it's coming summer 2019.
That's a good one.
Gosh.
OnePlus will be fun. Yeah, OnePlus. I'm really looking forward to what comes out with this phone. Dan doesn't know how to use a phone. No, he doesn't. He'll be using one of those Fisher Price phones that has those big buttons on them that makes.
Hello. I can't hear you.
Yeah, $500 cashback Samsung start. Yeah, I knew out of the gate, and Samsung does this with every single one of their phones that come out. They give you an arm and a leg for all these trade-ins to try and get these things into people's pockets because they know they can't sell them at retail. Did
you see what they announced today?
No.
So any of the S20 line, they are guaranteeing you in the first 24 months. So you just say you out like an idiot and bought an S20 Ultra. And then you kept it for 23 months. They guaranteed to give you 50% of the value back. So in 23 months, they will give you $700 back for that phone.
That's more they're going to give you in software updates.
Yeah. But I mean, that just shows you. I mean, all right, they're going to give you $700 for it when the next Note comes out. But just the fact that they're allowing it to get 2 years away and they're going to give you that $700 still for it, that just shows you they're having issues.
Well, that means whenever I get done using it in 6 months, I need to put it in the drawer for 18 months and then trade it for $700.
That's it.
My wife's like, "Why are you holding on to that phone? You don't even use it." This is worth $700.
It's an investment.
It'll be finally the first time I can ever say my Samsung is worth money.
Exactly. It's going to go up in price, darling. Look, it's worth $500 now, but leave it 18 months.
It's like the stock market right now. It's going down like
yeah.
It's going to
come back, crash, and then go boom.
$700.
Yeah. Well, that just shows you. And I'm wondering whether they're doing that because people have lost. They're worried that people have lost faith in the brand with the S20, because, like you say, the returns are out of this world. They're insane. The returns on them.
You know what I should do, or what I would like to do. Well, I can't because I can't leave my house to go to a phone store because they're not open. Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder what the carrier returns look like, but nobody can go to a store right now.
I bet they're huge. I bet they really are.
I'm curious to see what they got for those things.
I think lots of them.
Joe, the real Joe Hussey, has a point here. He probably sat down for 4 hours to put this on paper, but when it comes to the S20 and the S20 Plus are phenomenal phones. They don't have
ones to buy.
They don't have any of the heartache or the butt pain that the Ultra has, and of course you get them at much better values. My only thing, I wish that they had the opportunity, because of course they sell it overseas. I don't think that it has the Qualcomm chip. I still think it has the Exynos processor in the UK and internationally, but they offer an LTE model instead of the 5G model, and I really wish in the States that they had offered a 4G at $100 cheaper, because some people want 5G. And if they want 5G,
I couldn't care less.
I could, I don't care. So it's like somebody was saying that in a comment on a video the other day for the BlackBerry. They're like, "Oh, we need a 5G BlackBerry in 2020."
Why?
So you can send emails?
Yeah. Now give me a BlackBerry with a Snapdragon 855 Plus in 2020. That'd be quite interesting.
They could give me a Snapdragon 845. I mean,
even an 835. It'd be very interesting.
The only way they're ever going to get their way back onto the stage somehow is if they make a legitimate phone. I mean, if they put out like a 7 series processor and gave it 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage, put a decent camera in it, and a little bit bigger screen and keyboard, plenty of people would buy them.
You just described the Pixel 5.
Yeah, basically.
The keyboard. I mean, that's what they're saying the Pixel 5 is going to be.
Pixel 5 with the physical keyboard, it would sell like hotcakes. But you don't need 5G.
No, you don't. And it's not even faster. I have 5G, and 5G through T-Mobile is slower than 4G LTE.
Stop. Just like Joe's channel.
Hey, guys, 5G is coming summer 2019. All right. With the
All right, that's that, Joe. Thanks for being such a good sport.
Nasty.
Oh, that Samsung's not been good. Yeah, Samsung used to hold their value better before they started offering all these tremendous deals on getting people to do the trade-in stuff. Samsung is following a very, very bad road of another company I like to call the LG Express, where they started making their phones worth more than they could sell them for, and then offering huge incentives, which craters the price as soon as they get out the door. So, yeah, that's really what it is right there. And Samsung's doing the same thing. They're trying to keep up with the Benjamins with Apple, because Apple can sell $1,000 phone. Apple
Absolutely.
could. If Apple
doesn't matter what it is.
Phone. If Apple came out with one phone this year and they sold it for $1,300, you wouldn't be able to find one on the shelf the day that they were sold. They can command whatever price they want, but it'll work forever. I mean, that sucker will last for 5 years, and it's still going to work seamlessly as long as they don't do like a battery update. Yeah, it's great. I mean, they're still supporting. They just finally kept supporting, the 6S. The 6S. Since the 6S, we've had the 7, the 7S. We've had the 8. We've had
Joe.
The 10.
I'm not the only one, Joe.
What? Y'all are one family unit. You get one opinion. You're not. You can't be a house divided over chicken.
Just stop.
Yeah, whatever.
Just stop.
Cane's is great. I love Cane's chicken. I hate Cane's themselves. So I've got one right down the street from my house, and I can walk there in not 10 minutes. And those suckers are wrapped around the chicken store out into the street. And I have a 3-lane street outside my subdivision, and there will be, I kid you not, at any given mealtime, 5 or 6 of those cars stuck out there in that lane just waiting, because it's the line for the drive-throughs all the way out the road. And it drives me crazy, because then I'm stuck and I'm like, what am I waiting for? And then I look and it's like, oh, it's all the idiots trying to get Raising Cane's. Yeah, Joe does have another point there. They do hold their value better than any phone. And the Galaxies used to. The Galaxies used to hold their value a lot better. And of course, Android has never held their value as well as iPhone has. Never. They just haven't. But
it's not cool. That's what you remember. Apple is cool. So, and people want it. Apple have done, I've said this before, great job with marketing. They've made the iPhone is desirable. People want it. They need it. It's a need nowadays.
People still wait.
And that's why they don't care about how much they spend on it, because it's a keychain accessory that looks great.
Well, and people still line up outside the stores for those things. I still know people who take the day off so they can go to the mall and stand in the line of 100 people to get into the Apple store so they can buy one.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are in 2020. The only reason there won't be a line for the iPhone 9 or whatever they're going to call it is because there will be no stores open. I mean, people are going to be doing tech support from home for these things. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard Apple's sending out unreleased products to like their employees at home so they can basically work tech support jobs from their couch.
Be shocked to that, but they do tech support from home anyway. So
yeah,
that's what the AM was.
Yeah, he does have a point. I mean, he doesn't have any taste in fried chicken, but he's got a point.
Apple was built, and they purposely went to. They aimed at the younger generation and made it cool. Apple was made to look cool. It was desirable. Great.
Yeah, they came out with touchscreens and apps. They were everything that BlackBerry wasn't, and people wanted them because it wasn't their dad's phone. It was cool. It was finally.
Yeah. That logo was cool. You know,
it wasn't cool. The Zach Morris phone that our parents wanted to have whenever we were kids. Or I mean, when I was a kid, I mean, you were probably like 21, but either way, I mean, people in their. I'll take you off the screen. Say you like that, Elder.
Whatever.
The stream will probably go over like 15 viewers without you here.
Sure, I'm sure you said this the other week. Remember?
Actually, that week was better than the week you came back.
BS.
No.
I can hear myself through your computer.
Wow. Well, you get to hear me twice.
That's great. It's me. I can hear twice.
Oh. Well, maybe turn the volume down a little bit. How's that?
I don't know. I'm not speaking. I can still hear myself.
Oh. Is it because Leanne's in the other room and has something on?
No. I'm hearing it through my Jabra right here.
Let me turn this down. That's probably where the pickup's coming from.
Maybe.
Is it gone?
I think so.
Okay.
No, I can still hear it. I wonder if it's something to do with mine. Let's turn this down.
I don't know.
Someone said before about an echo. So.
Yeah, and like David says here, Samsung tends to give updates when they feel like it. They used to be terrible with updates. Like you could pretty much guarantee if you got a Samsung phone or any Android phone, you weren't getting the next version of the operating system. And that's one thing that Pixel changed for the better. And then they got to where when the new phone came out, it would have the new operating system. And then a few months after that, the older generation would move up and get that one. But then you were still not getting any updates after that. And just now, they got an update for the S8 Plus the other day. The S8 series devices.
S7 got a what's it update?
Completely took me by surprise. I was like,
security update.
Yeah, actually, I commented on that on Twitter. It was just,
why am I echoing? Everyone says I'm echoing.
Huh? I don't know. Let me try something. Let me try something and see if it'll fix it. Let me switch over to my headset instead of the microphone and see if it's that.
I'll also switch over to my camera mic. So give me a second. Yeti Logitech Stream Cam. Can anyone hear me? I can't hear you. You got no audio.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So what's coming into land? Can you let me know?
Huh?
You look like an air traffic controller, so that.
Oh, yeah. This is my Anchor Strike 3 headset that I reviewed. I actually really like this thing. Mm-hmm. It's the headset with the IPX water rating on the microphone, but not on the headset. So,
now you sound terrible. You really do. You sounded fine before. It was just me echoing. I'm wondering whether it was my mic picking up on my camera, something like that.
Well, I'm going to switch back then.
Yeah, you do that. Speak.
There we go.
There you go. Now I can hear you.
All right. So,
and I can't hear myself, so it must be a problem with my setup tonight.
And I use the mic when I play games and on Discord and stuff like that. And it's probably just because I plugged it in like midstream while this is working. I don't know.
I'm presuming my Yeti is picking something up as well. I don't know. As soon as I unplugged my mic and I'm now going through the Yeti, through the Logitech Tech thing, it's fine, supposedly. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, the sound quality is so good for me, the same, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, no, we talked on and on about that forever. I did want to talk briefly about the OnePlus a little bit more. So price, I thought I had seen something earlier where somebody was saying like 900 euros.
The Pete Lau has come out and said the phone is going to be under $1,000.
Well, yeah, so, we knew it was going to be under 1,000, but what's it going to be?
It could be 999. That's the thing. Now, if they're releasing that new Oppo Find X2 Pro,
sure, which is basically the same phone.
It's the same. Now, if they're going to release that phone under the OnePlus brand, it'll be $999.
That really doesn't give me a lot of warm fuzzies.
No.
That's a substantial price. I mean, it's going to be worth every penny. Going to be worth every penny. But that means that they're now directly competing in the flagship sector and not
with their Pro model, though.
With their Pro model, yeah. And of course, even the lower model. Well, I did look though. Their model they're calling the OnePlus 8 Lite, or also potentially the Z model, is going to have the new MediaTek. I think MediaTek 5G handset chipset in it.
Yes.
And I'm actually really curious about that because MediaTek used to be a complete dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And over the last 2 years, they have completely turned their act around and have started making legitimately good chips. And to the tune of getting it inside of like medical technology. They're getting better modems. They've got 5G. They're getting more smaller nanometer processors.
Yep.
They
don't have app issues anymore or anything like that. One time you load an app up and it won't work on a MediaTek processor.
Yeah, so they're doing some great things. And I really like to see that because necessity is the mother of all invention. And whenever you have competition, that means you get better products and you get better prices. Because
that phone's got to be cheaper than the Pixel 4a.
Oh yeah, and they're probably fighting directly with the Pixel. And the Pixel's not going to offer
maybe
the Pixel.
I mean, if they do $399 on that, then they're probably going to do $699 on the regular OnePlus, and then the Pro will probably be $899.
And I could buy into that a little bit because in the past we only got one real model in the U.S. per launch. We got like the 6, the 6T, we got the 5, we got the 5T.
Yeah.
We got the 7 Pro, then we got the 7T. So if they went with a tiered launch setup, like we're talking a budget, a normal, and then a premium flagship tier, like a Pro series level, I could see that. I just have a really hard time with the fundamental structure of OnePlus offering a device that is actually on par with what the other flagships are when they've always been labeled as a flagship killer.
The thing is if they can deliver a product that beats everything in that range, though, as well, and because by the sounds of it, it's going to with the fast charging, the reverse fast charging, the camera. If it's got that Pro camera out of the, if it's got the camera out of the X2 Pro, dude, have you seen the pictures on that thing? That thing is insane. The pictures.
Well, I also think too, they really, really did a number with the 7 Pro, and the tech industry really snubbed them for no reason because it was an amazing phone. There was a lot of big name people that really snubbed the 7 Pro, and they shouldn't have. And I think that OnePlus legitimately has a chip on their shoulder, and they're like, "F you guys, we'll see how you like us next year." Yeah, and I think that there's always been something, whether it's an IP certification, whether it's wireless charging, whether it's whatever. And I really think that OnePlus said, you know what? You wanted it, you got it, and we're going to beat you at your own game. And they're going for all carriers. I mean, I tell you.
Well, then they're going to moan because of the price. So that'll be the caveat. And OnePlus are in a no-win situation with that because it's like, well, you wanted all this, so we gave it you, so we have to up the price. But if we did what we used to do, you'd tell us we were no good.
Well, I think that's why they're coming out with 3 different models.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the problem they've got with that is saturating the market. I don't think OnePlus is a big enough name to have 3 model phones.
Well, it depends on how they do it, too, because I bet you we're probably going to get 2 models in the U.S. Like,
I would be shocked if we didn't.
Yeah, I
don't even think we'll get the Z over here. I don't think we'll get the low cost Z.
They spread the wealth. They spread the wealth. Like, we'll get the Pro, they'll get the 7 overseas. We got the 7T here. They got the 7T Pro over there. I would expect us to see the flagship and the normal one. And then they'll have the other one available online, like unlocked, but it just won't be in a carrier store. I mean,
I don't even know what it'll be over here. I can see that being one of these, because India is a massive region for OnePlus. It's huge. Oh, yeah. And I can see that being a phone that's being aimed over there.
Yeah, and Joe has a point here too. Yeah, they usually do hold their value because there's nowhere for them to go. They have flagship level specs in them. I mean, you get the processor, you get the memory, you get the display and all that stuff, and they're selling it for what these other phones end up dropping at within like 2 months of when they come out. Yep. So there's just
what's crazy? T-Mobile, not yesterday, but the day before, started selling the OnePlus 7 Pro again. They stopped it when T-Mobile, they started selling the OnePlus 7 Pro again. When the 7T came out, they dropped the 7 Pro. They were no longer available. They are now available again for $450.
I saw that.
$18 a month.
I don't like that whole. Yeah, I like that they went with the Pro moniker. I don't like that they still offer the T, because the T used to be, the better one that would come out. It would be like they would have the 7, then the 7T, the 6, the 6T. Yes. So they went with the Pro. When the T came out, it was almost like it was going backwards, but really the T is supposed to be the better model. So I think that they lost it a little bit with their branding there for their own image, but we'll see. I expect good things. I think that they're going to sell better than Pixel is this year. And
because of the carrier, you get it across all carriers. If you see the OnePlus 8 Pro or whatever it's going to be, or the OnePlus 8, and it's lined up against all the others, you're going to be looking at a phone that's going to have the build quality and screen quality of a Galaxy.
Well, I think really there's going to be some real hard conversations that people are going to be having when this new one comes out, and they look at it next to the Samsung being what a failure that it has been.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, like I say, I think Samsung has basically held the door wide open for OnePlus to make a splash this year. In the States, anyway. I don't know about UK and that, but in the United States, OnePlus have got a hell of an opportunity here because of Samsung's banana skin. I mean, it's a phone that's it's easily as well built as the Galaxies. It really is. The only thing that ever let the OnePlus down was the camera. And if you got that right.
Yeah, and I really like that macro lens they had in the 17.
It's all right.
And Grant says OnePlus is the only tech approval needed from MKBHD for the last 2 years. And yeah, some of the big name tech people really do rally behind them. I know that MKBHD, I guess, gave the 7 Pro like his phone of the year thing. Whenever that came out, at least I think so. And then I didn't completely agree with that. I was about 85% on board with it. I mean, just because of the camera issues, I felt like the Note really was the best. I mean, even the S10 series was really good. I felt like the cameras were more complete. But I mean, the OnePlus had so many things going for it. I think it was a very objective. I think it was a very objective discussion. There were a lot of very close phones this last year. I thought that
the Pixel for me was the second best Android you could get this year.
Yeah, and I said the Pixel 4 XL was the best for me, and then the 7 Pro was in my top 3 as far as Android phones go. So I mean, there were so many good phones that were so similarly aligned, and price structure and performance and brought to the table. So I really think that 2020 is going to be a little bit of a letdown. I think 2019 was so good with phones. I think that the prices are going to be higher than the bar for what the expectations are that people are going to be getting out of their money.
What might happen now, and the only positive I can see coming out of what's going on in the world right now, is their prices may have just bounced back down a little bit. They may have to reel it in coming towards the end of the year, all these new phones. Yeah, I mean, we're just not going to be able to afford it.
We're already in a recession now.
Yeah,
we're probably going to be in a depression. Now, the great thing is, there were a lot of social and economic reasons for the depressions and the recessions in the past. The prediction, because the need is there, everything is still there, is that it should bounce back quickly. But this is going to be a very frugal year. You're not going to have people that are people are going to be hanging on to their phones. And unfortunately, we're too far into the development cycle. They've already made these phones. They've already designed these phones. They've already gone into production. You can't go back and reinvent the wheel once the train has already left the station. So we're going to have a lot of expensive phones, I think, this year, unless they're just willing to knock the price off. Because, when you look at like an iPhone, like iPhone 10, let's say it costs them $300 to make it, and they're selling it for $999. Of course, there's cost of business, supply chain, all the other stuff that goes into selling them. But
R&D, marketing, there's a lot goes into
Apple's profit margins are huge. So
without a doubt. Yeah, that's why they can sell you Apple Care at $199 and give you a brand new phone if you break it.
Yeah, so
you paid for it twice.
I think that you're gonna see they're gonna have to lower the prices on these things. I mean, even if it's just $100, the tech market will rally behind them and say, look, you're getting such a great value because this is so much less than what you should be paying, even though you're already paying way too much. I mean, I've been complaining about $1,000 phones for years. I just they're not worth it. They really aren't. But, I buy all them because I'm a tech enthusiast. I mean, it's what I do. But if somebody were to ask me, hey, should I buy this? No, you absolutely should not. You can get this or this or this or this or this, which you're going to get. It's like everybody. I remember when I was in law school, and it cracked me up. Everybody went out and they got these $2,000 like MacBook Pros so they could do word processing.
Yeah. And that's still the way today as well. The amount of people at work, they get their kids who are going to college. My kid wants a MacBook Pro. Okay, what are they doing? Are they doing CAD work or music or photography? No, they're just taking notes. Yeah. Buy him an iPad. Buy him a $300 iPad. That's exactly what they need.
People just don't know, and that's fine. I mean, they pay for it anyway. But yeah, it is what it is. Gary, full screen notch on the. Yeah,
actually, Gary, the new Xiaomi, whatever you call it, Xiaomi, their new Mi 10 has the same thing, just like the Mi 9 did.
Yeah,
yeah. You know what? Has the pop-up camera and the full screen.
I had the Mi 9T, and I utterly love that thing. That was an amazing phone. And go back, and if I pull up some of the pictures I posted like on Instagram, that thing took amazing pictures for a $300 phone. I was just mind blown at how good the camera was on that thing.
But how did it go from that, like you say, a $400 phone, to a $1,000 Mi 10 Pro?
No.
It's $1,000, not even $1,000. It's €1,000 or something like that.
No, I got the Mi 9T.
Yeah, but they did a Pro version. That was still only $450.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's very, very expensive this year.
Yeah. And it works out about $1,100.
Well, the Redmi is the same way. I mean, so the way they work, you got Oppo, you've got Redmi, you've got Xiaomi. I mean, all these companies, it's the same stinking phone. I mean, they just release them in different regions under different brands. So you're getting the same thing. But yeah, we'll see. Let me see. Let me get BlackBerry question here. So Daniel, I think I was switching from my iPhone 10 to my Classic for a couple of weeks. All right, so I've been using. I got this BlackBerry Leap, which I've been playing around with, and then the BlackBerry Q10. But if you just want to use it for a keyboard, for some typing and sending some messages, some light browsing, you can watch YouTube just fine. The battery life is okay. I mean, really, we're talking about 2013, 2014 phones right now. I love BlackBerry. Obviously, half of my content on my channel is BlackBerry. I went back and I've been using this with my secondary SIM. I carry two phones with me all the time. So I've been carrying this ever since I got it the other day. And before that, the Leap. There are some significant limitations that you're going to run into now. And the most frustrating one for me is that Twitter's not even supported anymore. They completely shut down the API. I've sideloaded some apps. I was able to put like Alto's Odyssey on there. I got Crossy Road. I got like a bank app. I mean, there's some things that you can do because you can direct install APKs, which are Android apps, straight onto it because of the Android 4.3 support. But very few developers support that anymore. So what I would say is, if you use you're gonna like the nostalgia factor, but as far as the performance factor, you're gonna be missing a lot of stuff. But feel free to report back, and I'm gonna get back to non-BlackBerry talk. So,
did you just say long story short? Because there was no short in that long story. Let me tell you,
I talked really fast. I talked really
fast. Gary, you can buy them on Swapper usually. These Xiaomi phones, pretty cheap, like the new Note 10
or eBay
for $400. Yeah, or eBay. I'd be better off with Swapper though than eBay. But yeah, Amazon. You can even get them off Amazon. So
that's where I got mine. My Xiaomi 9T last year, I got off of Amazon.
Yep.
So
they're gonna have to bring it with a Note 20 this year. Absolutely.
I think they will. I wonder how much Samsung thinks that this global pandemic is affecting their sales more than the actual product itself. Because half of the board is sitting there saying this is all because of this. They're not sitting there saying it's because we put out a dumpster fire. They're sitting here saying that this extraneous world circumstance we haven't seen in 102 years is stifling our sales.
Yes.
So you have to wonder how much in development it is already, what they can do to make it better. And so help me, they better not put the same camera system in the Note 20 Pro. And then the other thing I'm curious about, because the Note is always more expensive than the S line. How much do you think the Note 20 Pro is going to be this year?
The Note 20 Pro will be the Galaxy Fold 2.
You think so?
Without a doubt.
I think you may be right, because I don't think the Fold, as much as I love mine, carries as much. They're trying to create another line of phone. If they just call it the Note, because that they're already reporting it's going to have the stylus.
Yep. I mean, why not? The Note's an established line.
Why do you need a Fold with the stylus when you can have a Note with the stylus?
I hate you, Joe. Joe, tell Rose thank you. Tell her thank you for what she wrote to me on Twitter.
I had a good one last night. I did. I called you the trash panda of YouTube. I thought that was pretty good. I did have to reconsider a little bit though. I don't have my original tweet that I put out, but I actually had I had somebody reach out to me like, dude, what's up with you and Dan? I was like, oh, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. We do this all the time. It's like, oh, I kind of thought so, but I couldn't tell. So, I went ahead and I pulled it down because somebody else was like, yeah, it seems like that's a little harsh. And I mean, I thought it was clever. Going back and reading it wasn't quite as funny, I guess, to the objective.
I needed to see it. I didn't even see it. That's disappointing. It's disappointing.
It was good. I don't even remember what all was in there. I know there's something about watch it in 480p so that you don't have to see full clarity. It's going to hurt your eyes. Long story short, Dan sucks. It was good. I mean, it was like poetry, trash talking in motion, but
it's amazing.
Yeah,
I missed it.
It was Shakespeare level. It was Shakespearean trash talk. But I did say like and subscribe at the end,
and that's what you do. That's what you do. So that's just the way it is. You trash each other as much as you can, but then say, give him a sub. So.
He's a complete loser. Dan sucks.
He sucks. He absolutely sucks. But subscribe to the guy. He's great.
Oh my gosh! I haven't.
Let's talk about this V60.
I haven't made this V60 yet. I haven't made this public yet, David. That was a secret. So, I have the LG V60.
What's that?
The V60, and all of its two-screen glory. Whoop, over here.
Stop it.
Huh?
Stop right now. Take it off the camera. Don't talk about it because you know what will happen tomorrow.
What? I'll drop it?
No.
What?
I'll go and pay $899 for the stupid thing.
No, don't do that.
No, I'm telling you.
So, David. There we go. You can't see it because this trash webcam.
I think that is the way to go with foldables right now.
So I've been using this all afternoon.
Makes sense.
I had to go into work this morning. I came back. So the story about this, I didn't buy this. LG actually sent it to me. which is amazing to me. I guess they finally deemed that I was worthy after I sent them 5 emails. And the funny thing was, my last email, I wrote them. I said, "Look, if you don't want to work with me, just tell me you don't want to work with me, so I can quit sending you emails." And I think that, I guess maybe they felt I was offended. I'm like, "Look, just tell me." Like, because I was like, "Hey, can I review this? Sorry, we don't have any." "Hey, can I review this? Sorry, we don't have any." "Hey, can I review this?" And I did like 4 times. So I got their contact while I was at CES. And persistency is the key. Don't ever give up. I mean, don't send them emails like every 5 days, but I'm always around to let them know I'm still there. And so I got an email from a different person inside of LG. They're like, "Here's this link. Look, we got some extra ones in. Go ahead and fill this out. And it's first come, first serve." I filled it out Wednesday or Thursday of last week. I had told David on the side, because him and some other friends, we hang out in the Slack channel. And I told them that I might be getting one. And I hadn't heard anything back. The cutoff was Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I assumed I would get an email. And apparently this is just how LG rolls, because I showed up back from my office today because I had to go to work for a few hours to do some mail. And there was this box sitting on my doorstep. And in my mind, I was like, I know what this is, because I wasn't expecting anything else. And lo and behold, I opened the box and it's the LG V60. So
is it unlocked?
Huh?
Is it an unlocked one? Or is it a carryover? Because I know they don't sell the unlocked one on their website.
It's T-Mobile variant. And yeah, they offered T-Mobile, Verizon, or AT&T. And they gave me the white one. And
ooh, really? Yeah, let's have a look.
It has an opalescent effect. So I'm not going to get my unboxing video out tonight. I got it today on a work day. So, I mean, I shot some film earlier, but I'm not going to rush getting the unboxing, and I'll worry about it tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, there are things I like. Like, I really like the second screen on here. I have it with the always on. It's got a 5,000 milliamp battery, but of course it shares across to the other screen. This other screen is surprisingly really, really thin. So it's got the LED readout over here on the front, and then it's got the full screen on the inside, which is
a secondary OLED panel, though, right? It's because it's an OLED panel. That's why they can do that, right?
It's so thin. It's like uncanny, remarkable. So it does work out nicely. One thing that I'll say that I absolutely love about the V60 over the Fold. So with the Fold, you can have multiple windows open at once, but you can only actively use one. So like, I like to play Boom Beach. I like to do stuff. I'll be on Twitter, and I like to be doing multiple things at once. And I hate having to swap back and forth, because like, if I go to something else, it closes Boom Beach and it has to reopen, whatever, blah, blah, blah. On the Fold, you can have multiple things open, up to like 6 windows at a time. But if it's an active window, like a game, you can't use both at the same time. With the V60, they work independently. It's like it's 2 different phones. So I can be watching YouTube on the right one, and I can be playing a game on the left one simultaneously, which I really do like. The other thing it's really weird. So whenever you open the case up, if you flip it all the way around to the back, it shuts off. And there's not really much of a gap here. Like, if you set this down on something, you're going to be making contact with the screen. There's no ridge there. And of course, I know why they did that, so it would fit seamlessly with the front screen, but it turns it off, and then you're just risking scratching it out. Now, if you're just holding it, it's fine. But inevitably, you're going to set this thing down. So I need to get a screen protector for this. The other thing is, it uses this weird dongle that charges the case screen, the second screen. It doesn't charge the regular phone, from what I know. But you can use wireless charging. So you can have this plugged in and then have it on wireless charging at the same time, because they're running on 2 different circuits. I haven't tried that out, Joe. Like I said, I've only been able to mess with it for a few hours. I did my initial setup and all that stuff.
How's the camera?
Huh?
How's the camera?
I haven't taken any pictures with it yet. I've heard that from the samples that I've seen from people posting them on Twitter, they look really good.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether, because LG, you remember LG back in the G1, 2, 3, 4 days were king of the camera.
Oh yeah.
So I'm wondering whether they brought it back.
I'm trying to remember. Didn't they only put 2 cameras in this one? They opted not to put the telephoto.
Yes.
Yeah. Now it still has in the interface. It still has a 2x mode where it'll default to 2 times. Where and I've heard because of the way that the digital processing and the camera and all that works, that it's actually okay at 2 times, but anything past 2 times, it starts looking like garbage. But I'm sorry, the regular camera, I took like a picture or two of a little figurine while I was trying to shoot some video just to show something. But from the samples I've seen people post on Twitter, it looks promising. I mean, it looks like the contrast and the saturation is very good and it's very natural. So I've heard good things. From what I've seen, it's encouraging, and then of course I'm going to be working on it now.
Hopefully, it doesn't over smooth like the last couple of LGs I found have had a very smooth look over the pictures. It's
yeah, I don't know why that stupid focus is being so terrible. So
because you're an absolutely ugly bastard.
I don't doubt that. And the other thing I worry about is like it's like an inch and a half to get to the stupid headphone jack down here. I don't know how you have to have a really long 3.5 millimeter cable to get that sucker in there, but I do like they have finally fully incorporated swipe gestures from Android 10 into this. So even using the G8 or like the V50, it was still terrible. So this one, they actually fully integrated swipe gestures. So the operating system works just like it does with like a Pixel, which is nice because Samsung is still not quite fully swiped. At least not with the Fold because it's Android 9. Even the Galaxy, though, is not. They have not gone.
The Fold isn't Android 10?
No, the Fold's not. They're still on 9.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that when they go, I believe it is anyway. Hey Joe, isn't the Fold still on 10? I mean on 9?
That's crazy.
Let me look. I know Gary's is. But he's got the international version. Yeah, it's still running Android 9. That's what I thought. So, So, this is something that's completely wonky. So, the V60, from what I can tell, doesn't have facial recognition. And I guess, So, and I went to go look at some other blogs and stuff to see if I just couldn't find it. But you go into the biometrics. The only biometric that's available is a fingerprint sensor, and it's an infrared. It's not an ultrasonic. So
I prefer them anyway.
No, I do. It works faster. The only time you ever have issues with it is if you have like your moisture on your finger, you get some water on the screen, it won't work. Yeah. So from what I can tell and what I was seeing, and I was hesitant to say it at first, but it doesn't appear to have facial recognition for unlocking, which is completely odd to me in 2020.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, it's natively built into Android nowadays as well, isn't it? I mean, I know it's not very secure, but you can use any camera to do face unlock.
I think it might be a biometrics issue because those facial scanning ones, like the garbage one that's on the Samsung phones now, and that's on all the $200 Android phones. I mean, shoot, that new Mobile X6 that was $90, it came with 3 months of LTE internet, has a facial scanner on it. So it's there. I think that LG just doesn't want to have crappy biometrics on there because they did have a true Face ID scanner with the G8. So I don't know. And there's other stuff that I've been seeing some stuff leak lately, or at least rumors that maybe they're going to do away with the G series completely.
Yeah, I saw that.
But
do a rebrand.
Why? They've been saying that since the G7. They're like, oh, the G7 is going to be the last one. The G8 is going to be.
They thought the ThinQ was going to be the takeover from it, and all it ended up being was a stupid name to add on the end. It's just.
Yeah, it's like the LG V60 ThinQ 5G. It's like.
Is it really pronounced ThinQ, by the way? Because it makes sense if it was Think, and they were just trying to be cool with the Q. But everyone seems to call it the ThinQ or whatever. It's like, what? Yeah, when
it first came out, like when the G7 came out, I was calling it the Think, but everybody else is calling it. I thought they were just doing.
I'm with you.
Words, and it's supposed to be Think.
I'm with you. That's what I think it's meant to be.
Because it makes sense. What the heck is a thin Q?
Yeah, a very thin Q. Like a pool Q. You know, I mean, really.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
that shot. I can't believe that is on 9. I am shocked.
I bet you we don't see Android 10 till the new Fold comes out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm shocked that it is. I thought it'd come with it.
Well,
Android 10 was out, right?
It was out. I think they didn't go back and mess with the software. This originally came out in April. It was supposed to come out in April of last year. So then they pushed it back to like September, October. So really and truly, the phone's only a few months old. But they didn't go back to the drawing board with software. They were just trying to make this reliable enough that they could push it out to the market and get them off the shelves. So I don't know. I mean, it works perfectly fine as is, but there's so many different things that they got to do to it to make everything work right because of all the windows, the multitasking mode, and all the other crazy.
But do they? Because again, Android 10 has a lot of this native built in for foldables now. So
yeah, well, if only Samsung didn't have to do their own proprietary user interface.
Bullshit skinning. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if they just used Android 10, it would be great.
Yep. I just don't understand it.
The name isn't that great. I do like ThinQ. Basically, yeah. I mean, it's decent that they put it across the board, you know, for all of their devices, like the TVs, the phones, like all the stuff. But I think they could have come up with something a little bit better than just calling everything the ThinQ or the Think. I mean, it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
No, not at all.
Like, Think doesn't roll off the tongue or sound intelligible when you use it in the same name.
No.
And ThinQ makes no sense. So I don't know how they put like, you know, $1 billion behind this campaign. And it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm with you on that.
LG is a South Korean company. Maybe it means something else over there. Maybe it means yeah. Maybe in English it just doesn't pan out.
Translate very well. What's the software like on the V60? Is it still very LG?
So here's the thing with it so far. I have found some bugs, especially like with the second screen. It doesn't always want to pull up the little spindle when you swipe up, right? But at least, you know, it does have the app drawer. You can swipe up for the app drawer. They have fully integrated Android 10 gestures now. So whereas like I liked it better with Android 9 where you would just swipe back and it would go back. Or, well, it's still swipe back to go back is fine, but for certain apps, you could swipe back and it would pull out the side menu. Well, you know how Android 10, you have to do the diagonal from the top or the bottom. Yeah. I utterly hate that. It's on here. So they went, it's full, from what I can tell, full Android 10 native swipe gesturing, which is fine. But because that was a real pain in the butt. I really hated that with the G8. I was like, it's so clunky. I didn't like it at all. I really liked the Android 10 full swipe. I really liked the iPhone full swipe. So when I went to the G8, I'm like, I don't like this. It just doesn't feel right. So it feels more fluid. It is better. It's just that it's still the LG user interface that's on there. So I mean, it still has its limitations. I hope that sometime in the near future they can drop it. And there's so much carrier stuff on here. So stinking much pre-installed crap. I spent like the first 5 minutes just dragging and dropping all the carrier crap into a folder, and then the LG crap.
I was hoping they reined it back in a little bit this time, but okay, Joe Hussey. Let's ignore it. We can ignore David. All right, but look at Joe Hussey. All right, Joe Hussey getting on me about putting together a video.
Oh, I missed it. Bye, Gary. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, well, we're at 1 hour and 3 minutes anyway. And hey, you know what? I think we had a little bit of a rebound this week. We consistently had 5 to 7 people in here the whole time.
Well, that's pretty good, like I said.
Better than the 2 we had last week. If it weren't for David, we'd have been talking to each other for an hour.
It'd have been our Twitter conversations.
So it's nice that people showed up tonight.
Yeah, I'm rather tired anyway tonight. So that went quick though tonight.
Well, I haven't hit end yet.
Oh yeah, you haven't, have you?
Oh,
can you all just leave? Just all leave. I'm done. All right, just all go. Go away.
I was just remarking to people how nice it was that they showed up to listen.
I don't even like you people. All right.
All right. We're gonna go and hop off here. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys. We appreciate it. Doing another thing. So Scott Peachy
Yes.
We were going to do something on Monday, but he was tied up all day. Dan was getting a Brazilian wax or something before they closed the shop. So he couldn't make it.
Ass cracking back.
Yeah, so I talked to Scott on Monday after this all fell through, and it could potentially be tomorrow, but I think likely Friday.
Friday's fine.
Well, the other thing too is what's his Mike Caputo. His first name is Mike, right?
Who?
Yeah, Mike Caputo. I don't know if you know him. Tech 24/7 TV.
Oh, Mike Panetta.
No, Caputo.
Tech 20. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Either way, well, I met him at CES, and he extended an invitation for me today, saying that they're having. He wants to try and put together something on Friday. I don't know if he's talked to you. I don't know if y'all talk or y'all friends, but he said he just wanted to get together a bunch of YouTubers to BS on channel or whatever. So I don't know what's going on with that. I told him sure. I've got nowhere to go, so I got to balance that and find out what's going on and talk to Scott because.
Mm-hmm.
And his stream's going on right now, so I'll ping him here in a little bit. But we talked about this briefly this last week, and we wanted to do it Monday, get all three of us on a channel and talk. So hopefully we're going to be able to do some more collaboration stuff. We're still going to do our Wednesday night thing, but we might have some other special episodes come up, or if we can get somebody who people want to hear from to come in and talk on the show. And also, I think I was talking to Dan. We might see about making this its own channel at some point in time, because right now it's on my channel, but we really kind of like this whole channel identity thing. The Tech Unhinged. I don't know if anyone else is out there using the name, but it seems to be okay for now. But
I don't see it.
It pops up under my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So he and I were talking about it. We'd like to make our own channel. So maybe as we do this a little bit more, get some more people watching, and then go ahead and launch another one.
Can you stream without 1,000 subs?
Yeah, you can.
You can?
From your phone. You can't live stream from your phone unless you have 1,000 subscribers.
Okay.
Gotcha. And then you have to have at least 10,000 subscribers to do like those little video things like El Jefe does.
Never thought of that, Grant.
Yeah, I thought about that last night. And it never occurred to me until I watched the Travis MCP and Greg's Gadgets do their little conversation with Mr. Mobile yesterday, and they're running it simultaneously. So you're basically getting two bangs for the same buck. I mean, you're getting it. So you're recording. You're doing your live stream so people can see here and watch, but you're also running a parallel audio for a podcast. So. It's just a great way to spread out the platform and get a wider range of reach. But yeah, so we'll have to see what goes on. Maybe the podcast thing will be cool. I wanted to do one before, but I didn't have time. But yeah, if you can run them at the same time, why not?
Yeah, just take the audio from the live and that's it. Done.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just stream them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. I would need to figure out how to do all that. I mean, this is down the road talk. It's not like next week talk, but just stuff in the works. But anyway, thanks a lot for y'all coming and hanging out with us. It's been a real treat. Hey, it's nice to actually, I say to interact with other adults, but I mean the comment section and not Dan.
I'm forced here, let me tell you, against my own will. He has stuff on me that he pretty much keeps threatening me with. He blackmails me. So otherwise I wouldn't be here. I got plenty of other things I could be doing on a Wednesday night at this time, but no, I have to come here, otherwise you'll expose me. So, just so you know.
Well, there you have it. So, we'll see y'all guys next week. Bye.
Bye.